When you think about how a typical church plant works, you may think it begins with a church sending some of its people to replicate their congregation in another community. Once a building is secured, they start programs to motivate people to attend. From there, a group of believers is formed and nurtured to ensure the church's steady growth.
But one group of people decided to plant a church another way. And it's working.
My name is Bryan, and my family and a small group of other people planted Anchor Church 2 years ago. We had this conviction that, we were going to build a community first, and that community was going to plant a church. Not Bryan's and his family and a couple other people are going to plant a church. Sunday gathering, we believed, was going to be the crown on top of an already existing community, rather than like the mechanism to achieve or get community. Pacific Northwest, having like a deficit of thriving, healthy churches, the idea that we could contribute to the local, church environment rather than just add another expression that it already had plenty of. So is Tacoma outright antagonistic towards Christianity? I wouldn't say that. It's more or less disinterested. Tacoma was a fascinating city to be able to plant a church in. We didn't show up in town and put flyers up and say, we're starting this Sunday.
What we saw when he was here in Tacoma then, when he sort of started to plant himself, was he was such a connector of people.
We spent a year and a half not promoting ourselves, but meeting people.
The comment that Bryan would say is, you don't have to believe to belong. And maybe you're not yet a Jesus follower, but that belief will grow.
Core values are hope, hospitality, purpose, and presence. And we wanted to craft this community that reflected those things. Be a real human being. Don't be a car salesman evangelist. Be able to laugh at their jokes, relax a little bit, enjoy their company. Just don't be weird. You'd be surprised how far that goes. And all of a sudden they're encountering something that doesn't fit into the stereotypes and cliches that are put forward in a variety of different ways. They're seeing a glimpse of Jesus. You just have to lean in and make space and not be weird, and God will tend to use that. And we did that for a year and a half, inviting people into this really high commitment environment called Core Team. We met around tables. We celebrated people that signed their name on top of the Core Team commitment document. As we continued to pray about it, Matt became our first person on our team, that we were really planting this church together with the idea that he would be our first person that we send out.
When I was interning under Bryan Halferty, I knew I wanted to plant churches, but nothing was on the horizon until he said, hey Matt, would you and Kate be interested in hopping over to Tacoma with me after you graduate and planting a church? And I was like, yes.
Wouldn't it be cool to plant a church that was really focused on horizontal growth?
And so instead of building it up, focusing at just one anchor location, building a bigger building to seat more people and to house more ministries.
The building up of something was important, but only as we really get strong so it could send out.
We want to equip and send out planters to be the hands and feet of Jesus in Tacoma and the greater South Sound.
So I just thought, wouldn't it be cool for a church to be a harbor? A place where people come in, they feel known, they feel like these are my people. But then also, it needs to be a place that is sending people out, preparing people to enter the challenges of the world and be a Christ follower in that place.
So we receive the word and we are planted here, but we go out to Tacoma and we spread the love no matter what.
They're just so involved in the community, and they also just let their audience know about what they're doing for the community, how they're doing it, why they're doing it.
Our movement was begun by a church planter. It's the most strategic way to reach lost people.
As we started to talk about planting in Tacoma, what the next Anchor Church plant would be, we started going through different locations in the area. I didn't want a homogenous community. I wanted something diverse and a little gritty, and that's what the Lincoln District is. Planting a church during COVID is so bizarre.
You want to talk about throwing a wrench in the gears, like try to plant a church during a pandemic.
It is solely through word of mouth, relationships, and online. It's been really interesting, but God has met us and has moved in mighty ways.
We are followers of a God who meets us in burning bushes, mangers, and crosses and empty tombs. So bring it on, pandemic. Every new church meets new needs and connects with new people in different ways that other churches don't because of the leadership, the culture, the vision, and the values. And so more churches means more access to a Jesus-centered community. So the faster we can plant more healthier churches, the more we're able to reach lost people. That's what we want to do, to offer the hope we have to people that don't have the hope we have. And if we found the best mechanism to accomplish that goal, why would we not be on board with that as much as possible?